Welcome to the actual news, now your leading source of all things finance once we find a bank who approves us to open an account. Just to start off today, I want to remind everyone that real actual news fans hold.
Dude, I'm so tired of hearing about stocks.
Too bad. The whole studio is about to be covered in graphs. Green lines going up, red lines going down, the whole shit. I don't know, man. I have 4 trillion Dogecoin.
4 trillion?
Yeah.
And is that a lot of Doge?
I don't know. No one does. They had to print a bunch more just for me. China's pissed off. A small country in Eastern Europe went to war over it. But Elon Musk DM'd me an eggplant emoji, so I think I'm up.
Musk has put out a flurry of Dogecoin-related tweets over the months, and after every single one, the price of Dogecoin has gone up as a result. Many feel that he's just memeing with Doge, but regardless, people are making money off of this, so it's something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
We'll get into the stock stuff later. This week, Biden signed over 30 executive orders, including raising the minimum wage to $15 by 2025. At this point, that's like if someone was hanging over the edge of a cliff and you were like, hey, I'm going to pull you up. I just need 15 minutes. Why? The rich guy over there offered me money if I wait. Hey, don't complain. He offered me more if I don't pull you up at all. Well, if you keep being rude about it, maybe I won't pull you up. Maybe you should. Buy your bootstraps.
Smith is the author of A Billion Bootstraps, a best-selling book about microcredit lending.
There's an old fable that you could lift yourself up by your own bootstraps. And so that saying in America is pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, which means starting with nothing and growing a business or growing your family's life.
It's crazy how common of a phrase, pull yourself up by your bootstraps is. Because if you think about it, you'd just be pulling yourself up by your own legs. So you couldn't pull yourself up at all. A shorter way of saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps is kill yourself.
You know, this idea and this metaphor of a bootstrap started off as a joke because it's a physical impossibility to lift yourself up by a bootstrap, by your shoelaces. It's physically impossible.
Biden also won't give Americans their $2,000 checks, so they took it. Today marked perhaps the strangest week in Wall Street's history, with market manipulation tactics typically carried out by hedge fund managers instead being organized by Reddit users in order to severely bankrupt the hedge funds.
It's a stock exchange. There's no money you can steal.
Really? And why are you people here?
Here's what happened, because my girlfriend is sick of hearing me explain it. r/wallstreetbets is a section of the website Reddit, and the people on that section work together to make financial investments. It includes all types of people, including lots of guys who used to just gamble on sports but have now discovered it's more fun to tear the fabric of modern society apart. It almost feels like winning the Super Bowl, but instead of saying, I'm going to Disney World, you're saying, I'm going to buy Disney World, and there's not a fucking thing they can do about it.
$22 million in 3 fucking hours! Can you believe it? I fucking love this. It's amazing.
Anyway, these guys figured out that certain billionaire investors, specifically the ones at Melvin Capital, needed a certain stock to be very low because they had placed a large bet on the stock failing. Then, to fuck those billionaires over, they began buying the low stock, which made it go up. Then, other billionaires heard that if they bought the stock, they could also fuck the billionaires over.
Fuck the clients. Your only responsibility is to put meat on the table.
So, then, most likely, other billionaires figured out they could also fuck those billionaires over, so a ton of people bought a ton of stock, and the stock went up. A ton. GameStop cost about $3.11 per share at the beginning of the pandemic in April, and on Thursday reached a value of around $570 per share.
Oh, it looks like these short sellers have lost $19 billion.
I'm sorry, were you expecting a spit take? Then, as Melvin Capital lost insane amounts of money and everyday ordinary people started making a bunch of money, something weird happened. The most commonly used trading app by Wall Street Bets, Robinhood, started blocking people from buying the stock. They also automatically started selling the stock out of people's accounts and are rumored to have messed with their users' buying in many different ways as well. What this said to many people was that billionaires have one set of rules and everyday people have another.
This looks like a move by an outfit called Robinhood, which is supposed to be taken from the rich and given to the poor, and doing exactly the opposite. that when the big guys, including one of your main investors in your company, started to lose, you shut down the game to starve the little guy.
Some talking heads are critical that this isn't good for the stock market, and users who bought GameStop should be in trouble. What Reddit did isn't good for the stock market, but the people it's currently fucking over are the ones who mainly do the thing that's fucking them over to fuck over other people all of the time. It's just a taste of your own medicine. It's like if you gave the guy who invented Percocet a Percocet and he was like, geez, these are addictive. For your own safety, give me the bottle.
There are a lot of tears being felt throughout the business that you made your living in. And I'm curious to get your reaction to this notion of this uprising, a revolt.
This is not going to end well when it ends. And the bigger question is, when does it end? I don't think it ends soon, but I think it will end, and it will end very badly for the public.
If this kind of action is unjust, then what they do, the elites, to us, the rest, is clearly unjust. The same people who are shutting this down are the people who locked Americans in their homes, refused to freeze the rent, refused to send out substantial financial aid, refused to fund adequate medical care, allowed the small businesses to fail, and are saying it'll be March until the promised $2,000 checks go out. Oh, and by the way, before all that happened, a bunch of politicians knew it was going to happen. They knew COVID was going to happen, they were told, so they sold their stocks, and they didn't get in trouble, and no news outlets talked about it, so one of them almost got reelected. It was the Republican in Georgia, who they had trouble beating.
I'm okay with the fact that she wants to make money. I just think you shouldn't use the people's seat to enrich yourself.
Janet Yellen, who we identified last week as someone who sucks ass, was given $800,000 by Citadel. Citadel is one of Robinhood's main customers. Robinhood makes money by selling reports on what its users are buying to hedge funds. Apparently, the owner of Robinhood, although he's very poorly denying it, may have been directed by members of government to restrict users of Robinhood buying GameStop stock. He stopped them from buying and forced them to sell. Personally, I tried to sell my kidney to get some, and frankly, it's my right as an American to do that.
We're in a historic situation where there's a lot of activity and a lot of buying concentrated in a relatively small number of symbols that are going viral on social media. So we haven't really seen anything like this before. And to prudently manage the risk and the deposit requirements, we had to restrict buying in these 13 stocks.
By enabling them to sell but not buy, it sounds like you were allowing the hedge funds, and again, one of them owns a piece of you, and they had a big short position, and that looks like a stinky conflict that you didn't come out straight on from the start.
More than anything, this incident is another wake-up call for a lot of working-class people. The rules that apply to you don't apply to them. I hope it's a wake-up for the elite as well, because they still have a little more time.
Shocking to me that a bunch of individual investors could muster enough buying power to do this, but it just shows you the power of the internet and forums like Reddit.
You see, you broke it. Your whole business model here, capitalism, neoliberalism, whatever you want to call it, operated best when people didn't realize the game was rigged. It got rigged too much. You left a generation of overeducated, underemployed, and pissed off people alone at home with no other way to fight back. Your shitty plan to restructure society so that people don't know they're poor isn't working. You need to go back to Keynesian economic policies that allowed Americans to work 40-hour weeks and raise families in single-income homes, and also include black people this time. This stupid dystopian bullshit isn't going to work, and this is the first sign. People know about the big club they're not in, they're not happy, and they're building a new club that you'll be begging to be in soon enough. In terms you can understand, you broke it, you buy it. Own this.
I tell you what, you show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
Oh, geez, a hedge fund guy's here. Hey, I'm sorry, this is awkward. I didn't mean like you. You look like shit.
Please.
Oh my God, you're dressed like shit.
I'm sorry, man. Please. Just, you have $1 trillion bailout? Please, man.
No, man, I don't have $1 trillion. No, I mean, I have 4 trillion Dogecoin.
You have 4 trillion Dogecoin?
Yeah, is that a lot?
You poor, stupid fuck.
At the time of this release, GameStop stock owners are still holding, and as they hold, these hedge funds lose more. There's no telling what happens next, but I have a feeling they're going to keep holding. I am.
Keep the clients on the Ferris wheel And it goes, the park is open 24/7, 365. Every decade, every goddamn century. That's it.
Oh my God. Hello? Yes. Bye. Bye. Buy more.
Okay, see you next week. If you'd like to hear us break down this week's craziness in more detail, check out the podcast for $1. And $1 will also grant you access to our full archive. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Power to the players. Power to the players.
Power to the players.
Well, I'm going to take a large drink of water. I hope no one tells me anything that shocks me.
Holy crap. Short sellers lost $19 billion from the GameStop thing. Spit on me.